This is going to be a video where I go into further detail about why I despise Rebecca Watson. And using the term despise is an extreme understatement. Yep, needless to say, which I'll say anyway, needless to say, my strong dislike for Rebecca Watson began a few years ago with the so-called elevator gate incident. Of course, most people who view this video are probably going to be aware of it, but just in case there are those who don't know, elevator gate refers to a time when Rebecca Watson was overseas for some kind of conference, and when she went into an elevator to get to her hotel room, some guy who listened to a speech or number of speeches that she made earlier, told her, I'm paraphrasing, that she was an interesting person, and he was wondering if she would be interested in going to his hotel room for coffee to talk more about the issues she discussed. And of course she said no and went to her room, and he went to his room and whatever. Now, it's called elevator gate because Rebecca Watson is a dumbass, among other things. In her mind, she was being cornered in an elevator by a strange man. But the thing is, as far as anyone can tell, this strange man did her no harm. But in her mind, it's harm because of her bigotry. Let's just call it that. But more to the point, I have two main problems with the whole elevator gate problem. The first problem is, one, Rebecca Watson believes that men should never, ever, ever, ever talk to women unless the women allow it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's an unequal situation. If this were an equal, if this were an equal situation, either women shouldn't talk to men unless they're allowed, and vice versa, or women and men can talk to each other, that sort of thing. But the second problem I have is that Rebecca Watson believes that all men are a threat, are a danger. That's fucking evil. Look at the reality. We have to share this planet. All men and women have to share this planet. If we're going to share this planet, we have to get along. We can't get along if women think all men are a threat. That's how wars get started. And that's why the whole war, I guess, generated by feminism got started too. Some stupid women decide, oh, men are dangerous, they're evil, they're horrible, we gotta fight them. And then they have to go, then even go so far to say, men must be exterminated, genetically wiped out, genocide, all this shit. Pisses me off to no end. And, as I said before, this sort of thing makes Rebecca Watson a bigot. If you decide that you hate all men because you think they're dangerous, you're a fucking bigot. It's just like saying, oh, I fear all black people because they're dangerous, or I fear all gays because they're dangerous, or all this other bullshit about how you don't like a certain group of people because of who they are, not because of what they did to you. I repeat, it's bullshit when you hate someone for who they are and not because of what they do to you. If they haven't done anything to you, there's no reason for you to hate them. So fuck you. But there's also the fact that I was born this way. You can't blame me for a circumstance beyond my control. My existence came into being long before I had any understanding of how it happened, and I definitely didn't have any power to prevent it or change it or whatever. Well, maybe some change, but this problem is like original sin. Feminists think that all men are evil, and um, even though we were quote unquote born evil, they think that we're responsible for it. um, like I said before, I'm not responsible for my existence. It just happened. But they don't care. And this sort of thing is why I think Rebecca Watson is evil, along with other crazed feminists like her. And of course, it's Rebecca Watson's bullshit that got me to be associated with the men's rights movement. Yeah, I know. Men's rights, it's like feminism. Well, actually, it's not, but at least in my experience. But the point is that at least men's rights do support equality between the sexes, not feminists who want the male half of the human race destroyed or at least dominated over because of this bullshit about how women have been oppressed for centuries, therefore it's our turn to oppress men. That's not how it works, you dumbasses. Because all you're going to do is cause more animosity and in this age of nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons, the possible destruction of the earth. Yep, and it seems to me that Rebecca Watson is probably a classic example. That cat's kind of bothering me. Anyway, Rebecca Watson is a classic example of why there are MGTOWs, because she's saying that men are evil and should be avoided. Then, of course, the MGTOWs are going to give her... I'm going to close my door. Anyway, Rebecca Watson seems to have such a hatred for men. Rebecca Watson and many feminists have such a hatred for men. They don't want to have anything to do with us. And yet, and then we have the MGTOWs who are giving them their wish. And I believe I heard some recent... heard about some recent YouTube videos where certain MGTOW people have made note of how women are freaking out over the MGTOW movement, because on the one hand they think men are the scum of the universe, but on the other hand they don't like the idea of men ignoring them. They're too fucking bad. And Rebecca Watson, stop being an asshole. Yeah, don't do that. I'm serious. Don't do that. Stop being an asshole and remember that the male half of the human race is just as human as you are. See you later, Ralph Nader.